Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to play Tugboat by Galaxie 500. This is a timeless indie rock classic. It's right up there amongst my favourite songs, I think. And I'm going to show you how to play the basic rhythm guitar part, which is pretty straightforward. It's just two chords, but sometimes two chords is all you need. It's like the Lou Reed thing. One chord is great, two chords are pushing it a little bit, and then three chords and you're starting to get into jazz. And I'll also take you through the melodic single note parts in this tune. There's that beautiful intro melody which crops up another couple of times in the tune, and at the end of the track there's an extended kind of outro improvisation. I won't show you that note for note, but I'll talk you through how you might improvise some similar simple melodic ideas of your own over these chords. I will also run you through the gear that I'm using, how to get the sound. I've got some pedals down here which I will talk you through as well. So I hope you enjoy the video. This is the final track on the debut Galaxie 500 record Today, which came out in 1988. And if you don't know Galaxie 500, they were active in the late 80s. I think they split up in 1991. I don't think they were hugely successful at the time, but now they are hugely revered and a big influence on subsequent musical artists and genres such as shoegaze, dream pop, slowcore, whatever slowcore is. I'm not exactly sure. I guess it's kind of slow, melancholy music, Red House Painters, that kind of thing. And a fun fact about this song is that the Tugboat Captain lyric is supposedly a reference to Sterling Morrison of the Velvet Underground, who post Velvets did actually go on to become a tugboat captain. So let's talk about the rhythm guitar part then. And essentially this is just one bar G, one bar C, and that's just cycled round for the entire tune. So I'm going to try not to labour this too much, but there are one or two interesting and quite nerdy details about how this one is played, I think. So one way of playing it would just be to grab your standard cowboy open position G and C and just play through it like that. And I think that sounds good. It actually sounds very much like Sunday Morning by the Velvet Underground when you play it like that. Probably a big influence on this tune, but I don't think that's how it's done on the Galaxie 500 recording. I think that the chord voicings that are being used are these. We've got the open position G, then we're going to this, which is a C major 7 with an E in the bass. So this is an interesting one. I mean, it's a very easy chord change. We're just moving these two fingers over to the next pair of strings, and that's giving us, from the fifth string, we've got 3, 2, open, open, and then the third fret still on top. It's that open second string that's giving you that nice moody atmospheric C major 7 sound. But then I'm also hearing this open low E string, which is giving you an E note in the bass. So technically this is a C major 7 / E, or C major 7 over E. So I think that is an important detail in the mood of the song. It does affect the way that that chord sounds. It affects the way that you feel having the C in the bass as opposed to having the E in the bass. I think if you want to do it properly, try and get that E note in there. And then interestingly, on live footage that I've looked at, Dean Wareham is playing it like this. So going from the G with the two fingers on top and then moving these fingers over, so still keeping those two fingers on top. So there you've got more of a G going to a C add 9, or C add 9 with an E in the bass. So that works just as well, but I think on the actual recording, let's say I am hearing that open B, which is giving you more of a major 7 sound. Now as far as the strumming pattern goes, I'd recommend doing it like this. So it's basically down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. So nice, easy. This is an essential beginner's strumming pattern, I think, so I'm sure most of you know this one already. And it will be my usual recommendation when you're strumming in that rhythm, just to keep your strumming hand moving up and down like a pendulum, just moving in that eighth note rhythm, and then you can choose when you hit the strings to create the emphasis that you want. Though another interesting thing, looking at Dean Wareham play this, he's actually strumming it more like this a lot of the time. So subtly different there. We've got these two downstrokes towards the end of the bar, so it's more like this: down, down, up, up, down, 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 up, down, down. So maybe that's a nerdy detail too far even for me, but that does create a slightly different emphasis if you try strumming it like that. So I'm just giving you some options there. Maybe try both of those strumming patterns and see what feels best to you. And I'm just going to give you one further strumming pattern. As the track progresses, it builds in intensity, and I think you can get busier with the strumming. And this is the strumming pattern that I've seen Dean Wareham use again when he plays the track live. There's some good video footage of him doing this strumming pattern. So this is a busier, more of a 16th note kind of strumming pattern. So down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. So that's going to work really well towards the end of the song. Let's talk about some of the single note lead guitar stuff then, starting with the beautiful descending melody that you can hear at the top of the tune. And this is all played on the third string, which is one aspect of the Dean Wareham guitar style. I think he does do that quite a lot. It's a great way to play melodically, I think, just going up and down the length of a single string. So the song is in the key of G. All of these notes are in the key, so from the G major scale, starting at the 7th fret. That's our first little phrase, frets 7, 5 and 4. A little slide and a hammer on in there as well. And then we're continuing the phrase down here. It's the same kind of idea, but now we've got frets 5, 4 and 2. Working our way down to the open string. And then climbing back up again for the repeat. That's the opening melody. That happens another couple of times in the tune, and then towards the end of the tune it builds in intensity, and there's more of a kind of free-form improvised solo. And I won't take you through this note for note. I will try and tab out at least some of this. The tab will be up on my Patreon page, so if anyone's interested in that, you'll be able to find it there. But I'm just going to give you some suggestions here, and then the best thing to do by far is just to try and improvise some stuff of your own. It's a great beginner friendly tune in lots of ways. It's great rhythm guitar practice, but also if you want to start getting into single note playing melodically, soloing in this kind of indie rock way, it's a really good way of practicing it. You can just do a little loop of those two chords and then try some G major scale stuff over the top of it. G major pentatonic will work really well too. So in the end solo, you could try playing in the 12th position, and you've got this bunch of notes here. So on the second string you've got 15, 13 and 12. It's amazing how much mileage you can just get out of 3 notes, just playing in a really simple way. Just try and think melodically, try and introduce a bit of rhythm, and sometimes 3 notes like that is all you need for this kind of song, for this kind of soloing. And then you can also dip down onto some lower strings as well, so maybe you kind of got all of the G major pentatonic scale available to you in this position. So G major pentatonic is the same as E minor pentatonic. I'm sure all of you know this scale. And you can kind of throw in some of those other notes from the G major scale too if you want to. Maybe throw in a little bit of bending as well. 14th fret note on the 3rd string, you can kind of bend that a little bit, and you know, some nice kind of out of tune bends in this song. You know, you don't need to be precisely bending up 2 frets or whatever it is, just bending it slightly sharp is a cooler sound, I think, in this kind of context. Another thing you could try would be to leave the 3rd string ringing as an open string whilst playing melodies up and down the length of the B strings. It's not something I'm really hearing on the studio recording, but it is something I've seen in live footage, and this has got a great sound. So you've just got the open 3rd string, which is the root note of the key, and then just playing notes from the G major scale along the length of the B string. So those are just a few lead guitar ideas. As I said, I suggest you just mess around with those ideas and do your own thing. Let me talk about gear and getting the sound. And I don't actually know what Dean Wareham would have used in his Galaxie 500 days. Maybe that information is out there. Maybe I should have researched it before I started filming this video, but I didn't. So if anybody's got any definite information on that, do let me know. I'd be interested to find out. Today I'm just kind of going for an atmospheric kind of dream poppy guitar sound, I suppose. So I'm using my Jazz Master through my Princeton, and I've got a few pedals down here. I'm starting out with a compressor. I think that works really well both for the rhythm guitar chords and for the single note stuff, particularly when you've got a cleaner kind of a tone. I've got 2 delay pedals here. First up, I've got the Belle Epoque Deluxe by Catlin Bread. I've just got that set to a kind of medium delay, sort of 2 or 3 repeats. Then I've got my Boss DD6, which I've got set for a reverse delay sound. I've got that mixed quite low, but it just sort of adds a little bit of that kind of shoegaze atmosphere to the rhythm guitar sound. And got my J-Rocket Archer Overdrive pedal, just got the gain set quite low on that for the lead guitar stuff. And finally, for the rhythm guitar parts, I was using my chorus pedal, the Boss CE2 Wazercraft chorus. And I suppose if you listen to the actual recording towards the end of the track, when it does build, then there's a bit more of a kind of proper lead guitar tone. So you could easily turn the gain up, maybe use a fuzz pedal or something like that. In my performance, I kind of kept it quite clean for all of the soloing stuff, but you can, you know, experiment with some more overdriven sounds if you want to. Alright, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. If you are interested in tab, I will write out both the rhythm guitar parts and most of the lead guitar parts as well. I'll chuck those up on the Patreon page, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.